Hey, what's up everybody? Dimitri of Cat Gaming here, and today we're going to look at 15 free programs that I use that I think you guys would all find helpful and useful. As always, if you have any questions about today's video, feel free to hop on my Twitch chat. I stream on Twitch from Friday until Tuesday, usually around 7:30 Eastern, so feel free to hop in the chat, say hello. You can ask me questions about any of the programs today, and if you guys like this video, maybe I'll continue and I'll do another one, because I do use quite a few programs, all for different purposes. So today we're going to go over 4 different categories: utilities, gaming, productivity and media, and then programs that I use on a fresh install of Windows. Let's start it off with utilities. So first up is Windorstat. Windorstat is great for cleaning up your disks, because what it does is it shows you visually which folders, which files, which file types are using up the space on your drives, and you can utilize that to do cleanup. You can do it to find particularly large files if you want to move them somewhere else, and it's a great program. So Windostat's pretty easy to use. You select the drives that you want to analyze, and you click OK, and it'll go through and it'll analyze the space used on all of those drives. So as you can see here, it itemizes everything visually by color based on the file types up at the right hand corner here. And you can go and you can break down into it, and you can see which pieces are taking up the most space, and kind of drill down and figure out which games maybe you want to delete off your hard drive that you don't play anymore that are taking up lots of space. You want to move some large video files over from one drive to another. This is a great way to do it. So next up is a piece of software that I personally use every day, and that would be HW Info. This program is a very feature-rich and feature-packed hardware monitor. If you want something a little more simple, you can go with something like Open Hardware Monitor. But I personally really enjoy HW Info because not only does it allow you to monitor all your sensors, your clock speeds, your fan speeds, you can also go into the system information and you can look at things like your CPU, your graphics card, your RAM, your BIOS version, your Windows version, and all that kind of information. This kind of stuff is very useful if you end up buying hardware secondhand and you want to confirm that it's actually the piece of hardware that you paid for, because people can try to spoof things, but here it'll tell you exactly what it is. You can also utilize this to check your BIOS version really quickly if you want, your RAM. You can use other things to do this, like CPU-Z or GPU-Z, but this is really great because you have the hardware monitoring and the system information all within one piece of programming. And I personally really enjoy the fact that you can customize it so much. You can change fonts, you can change layouts, you can hide information that you don't care about, you can change the colors of certain information so that it sticks out more. So like my temperatures are all sticking out the most, so I can easily look at them and determine if everything's all nice and smooth. There's a lot to do with this. It can be a little bit overwhelming, but if you take the time to learn it, it can be a really great piece of software to help you monitor your system, especially if you're pushing it a little bit. So another great piece of software is 7-Zip. I use this as my archive manager. A lot of people use WinZip, but I personally really enjoy 7-Zip's layout, the functionality, and how just quick it all runs. I feel like it runs really snappy. You can also utilize 7-Zip as an explorer, which is really great. It runs really nicely. It looks nice and simple. And as I mentioned, it's just super snappy. So from the right click menu, you can do a whole bunch of actions here, and you can see how quickly it unzips folders and creates a new folder for you and everything. I personally really like it, and I think you guys would enjoy it. So finally, for utilities, I'm going to show you guys my favorite browser to use, and that would be Mozilla Firefox. The reason I enjoy Mozilla is it's a lot lighter than Chrome. It doesn't eat as much of my RAM as Chrome does, as I'm sure you've probably seen the memes. And Mozilla really focuses on privacy and the protection of its users. So I really personally enjoy it. I think you guys would also, really enjoy a bunch of the abilities and functionalities of the browser. They had cross-browser syncing for a really long time now. Most of your favorite extensions that you have on Chrome will also be available for Mozilla. And they also have a suite of other software pieces like Send that you can utilize, which allows you to quickly send files over the internet that are larger than, Gmail or Discord or Facebook or what have you would allow you to send. I just really enjoy Firefox, and I think that if you guys haven't given it a chance, you guys should definitely try it out. So now if we want to get into gaming, another great piece of software is GOG Galaxy. So everybody knows the issue of having all these launchers on their computer. They got Steam, you got Battle.net, you got Origin, you got Uplay. And if you want to consolidate all those, you can use something like GOG Galaxy, which allows you to now also integrate Epic Game Store, and you can have all of your games in one place, launch them all from one place. You can see a lot of your friends all in one place, and it's a really great way to, kind of declutter a little bit and not have to have multiple launchers open all the time. GOG Galaxy is made by CD Projekt Red, the same people who made The Witcher 3, and the same people who are making Cyberpunk 2077. And overall, it's just a very simple layout. It gives you lots of stats, and it pulls stats from everything. So don't look at how many Red Dead Redemption 2 hours I have. But you can go and see all of your games from everywhere and all the different systems that you have, and all the platforms. You can utilize the stats that are there. You can bookmark them, and it just gives you a lot of functionality all in one place instead of having to split it apart between all the different launchers. Previously, when you wanted to talk to your friends while you gamed, you used Ventrilo, or you used TeamSpeak, or you used Mumble. And then for a little bit, everybody started moving over to Skype. And then Skype just became an absolute mess of a piece of software. And now Discord has come in to fill the void. The best part about Discord, however, is that not only can you use it as a voice communications program, but you can also use it as a community building program, and you can use it as your group chat with your friends, and you can utilize it for so many different things. And they're constantly updating it to allow more functionality. You can now stream directly within a server, so that your friends can watch exactly what you're doing. So if you're playing Counter-Strike and one of your friends isn't a part of the 5-man group that you guys queued up with, one of the guys in the game can go and stream their content to the server so that other people that aren't able to join in are able to watch. My Discord is a little bit over-engineered for how many people are in it, but there's so much flexibility, there's so many different things you can do, there's so many different bots that you can implement into your servers if you'd like, and they're always, like I said, they're always updating, they're always adding new features, they're always adding all this great stuff because they try to listen to the community as much as possible. And if somehow you haven't heard of Discord, I definitely suggest you check it out and try building like a little server with your friends. It's a great way to keep in contact. It's a great way to share pictures and content and media, and just have a place to voice chat and hang out. And finally, for gaming, this is a piece of software that you don't have to use exclusively for gaming. You can use it for a whole bunch of different things, and that is OBS. So Open Broadcast Software is a really great utility if you want to stream, but it's also a great utility if you just want to record content, record your desktop. I'm using OBS right now to record this video, and it's a really great way to have a lot of flexibility and a lot of power when recording your screen, recording certain windows, recording your cameras. Because it's open source, there's all different types of plugins and extensions and webhooks that you can utilize, and you can get really flexible with it. And like I said, even if you're not streaming, you can find uses for it. So next on our list are productivity or media programs. One of the most used that I use on a day-to-day basis is DaVinci Resolve, and I use that to edit all of my videos. My first couple of videos were done on Adobe Premiere, but I'm really enjoying going back to DaVinci. I used to use it a long time ago, and they just constantly update that piece of software, and they give it so much functionality, so many great aspects to it. it is almost as powerful, or I would say as powerful as Adobe Premiere. And then the nicest thing about DaVinci is that all of the different aspects are all within one piece of software. So with Adobe, you have Premiere to edit your video, you have Audition to edit your audio, you have After Effects to do your motion graphics. But within DaVinci, you have Fusion, you have Fairlight, and you have color grading, and you have all that kind of stuff, and it's all built in directly into Resolve, so you don't have to be switching between programs. Everything's on the same thing. You're not switching, you're not risking crashing when exporting to another piece of software. Everything's nice and smooth. And as I mentioned, it's got the best color grading in the business. A lot of professionals use DaVinci to color grade. That's originally where it started. It was originally a color grading piece of software, but they just constantly add new functionality, and now it is a great piece of editing software that you can utilize, and it is absolutely free. You only have to pay if you want to use the studio version, but most of those functionalities of the studio version you don't really need. I personally don't use any of them. So you may have tried opening some kind of video file, and the Windows default app, the photo/video app or whatever it is, wasn't able to recognize the file and open it. That's where something like VLC comes in. So VLC is an open source media player that you can use to play music, photos, videos, all that kind of stuff. But it's great because it literally plays almost any format you can think of. And the UI is very simple and very easy to follow. As you can see here, just a really plain, simple format. Plays nicely. You can actually take snapshots within the videos, which is really nice. You can boost the audio above 100% if it's really quiet. You can do a whole bunch of really good stuff with it. It's nice and flexible. And like I said, it basically plays every media format available. So it's a great choice and a great replacement for the default. Another great free tool is Notepad++, which is a huge improvement over the standard Notepad found in Windows. And one of the greatest benefits about it is that Notepad++ supports almost every single programming language you can think of, and it color codes it while you're actively editing your code. So it's great if you're a coder, but I also use it for things like doing my standard notes for my videos, for example, opening up config files for games or other pieces of software. It's great for everything, very simple, very easy to use, and they're constantly updating it, and it's just a great piece of software, and I highly recommend it. So if you're like me and you enjoy torrenting stuff, and you torrent a lot, a great piece of software for that is qBittorrent. Now, qBittorrent has been my go-to peer-to-peer BitTorrent client for a very long time. So yeah, it's very simple to use, very easy visually to understand, and they're, like I mentioned, they're constantly updating it, so you're always getting it up to date. Works really great, really lightweight. This is what I've been using for a very long time. And finally, from the productivity media side of things, if you don't want to pay for Photoshop, you don't have to. There are tons of browser versions of Photoshop that you can utilize, like Pixlr and all those other types. But if you want something that's local on your computer, you could try something like paint.net. So although paint.net sounds like a website, it's actually a piece of software, and it runs very easily. You can put it on anything. And it has all the basic tools that you'd be used to in Photoshop, especially older versions of Photoshop. And it works out really well as long as you're not trying to do overly complicated Photoshop activities. But if you're just trying to do some simple stuff, some quick stuff, this is a great tool to use. And I basically use it instead of using the standard paint. So a great tool, it's free. They update it pretty often, and it runs really nicely. So now it's pieces of software that I like to use when doing a fresh install of Windows, first of them being Ninite. Ninite is a great piece of software because it allows you to install multiple programs at once at the default settings very quickly with one executable. It's really nice here, and as you can see, there are a lot of options for apps that you want, and as you can see, a lot of them are the ones that I've mentioned today, like Firefox, Winterstat, Discord, VLC, paint.net, 7-zip, qBittorrent. They're all here, and they're very easy to do. You click on the ones that you want. You click get your night-night. And I've already downloaded one. So you would go and run it, and it will start to automatically just go and start installing all of them to the default settings. And we're just going to cancel that here. And as you can see, it'll also check to see if the software is already installed, if it's up to date. So it'll go and it'll install one by one by one by one. If it notices that it's already there, it'll check if it's up to date, and if not, it'll update it. Very great tool, very quick, and you know, having one executable is really nice. And yeah, just use the free version and you're good to go. So another great piece of software, especially if you're pulling drives from another system into your new one, is I would definitely recommend clearing it out and reformatting it, making it nice and clean so that it just behaves nicely within Windows. And you can use something like BleachBit for that. So a lot of people used to use CC Cleaner. I personally really don't like it. It's a very bloating piece of software. It doesn't listen to you when you don't want it to start with Windows. They had security issues in the past. I really don't like CC Cleaner, and I use BleachBit instead. BleachBit is nice and simple. You can choose all of the things that you want to clear off of whatever drive you have or throughout your entire system. It's really great. It's an easy way to clear everything, and very straightforward, very easy to use, very simple. And there's no bloatiness to it. There's no trying to push paid stuff on you. It's just there, easy to use. You can preview, you can choose certain files, folders, everything. It's a great way to do it, and I highly suggest using this piece of software. So when Windows 10 first came out, a lot of the privacy issues started to appear where people were really upset with certain settings and options that you were automatically had on when installing Windows. They've since changed that, so when you're setting up Windows, a lot of those options are there in the setup so you can turn them off. But a really easy way to make sure that your privacy is at your control as much as possible within Windows 10, to use something like O&O Shutup 10. So O&O Shutup 10, very easy to use. My recommendation is to actually go to Actions and apply only recommended settings. When you do that, it'll ask you to create a system restore point. Definitely do it. It's just a nice thing to have. But doing this is great, and it'll allow you to help adapt your Windows security settings system-wide to help you avoid privacy issues and unwanted functions. So this way you don't have to go and dive through all of the different settings menus to try to find the ones that you want to turn off. This one allows you to do it system-wide across multiple sections of settings, and very quick, very easy, and it helps you do a quick backup as well. So highly recommended, very quick, very easy to use, and perfect when doing a fresh Windows install. And those are my 15 recommended free programs for Windows for all of those different topics of utilities, gaming, productivity and media, and fresh installs. But I do have one bonus for you. So Flux is a really great piece of software, especially if you're on the computer late at night like I am. And what it does is it helps reduce the amount of blue light, reduce strain on your eyes, and help with your sleep cycles. And what you can do is you can have it set up so that it automatically turns on at certain times of day. You can also set it up yourself. You can change a whole bunch of options, and you can use Flux to control smart lighting in your house as well. Very great tool. And if you find your eyes being strained when being on the computer late at night, this is a really good way to help you. And that's it for this week, everyone. I really hope that some of these programs are new to you and that you found them as something that's going to be useful for you in the future. If you end up using any of these pieces of software and you really enjoy them, please leave a comment in the section below. Let me know which ones you liked. If there are any that I did not include that you use that are free, let me know, and I'll make another video series again on this. I think I'm also going to do a paid/donationware video where a lot of the more inexpensive programs and items of donationware where you donate in order to get full usage of the program is a video that I'll do next. So if you guys want to see that, also leave a comment in the section below and let me know. If you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to hop in the Discord. We can have a little bit more of a discussion. We can talk a little bit more back and forth. It'll be a lot easier. But if you did find this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Really helps me out. Maybe click that bell icon and get notified of whenever I put out videos. Normally every single Friday, and occasionally on Mondays, where I'm trying to do a shorter Minute Monday series with quick how-tos on certain things. If you have any recommendations for videos that you would like me to do on the Minute Mondays, leave a comment in the section below and I'll try to make them. I'm more than happy to, and having more ideas is always great. And as always, I stream on Twitch from Fridays until Tuesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out in the chat, come say hello. Me and the guys are always playing and having fun. And yeah, see you guys next Friday.